Hello, everybody, and welcome to our final episode of ICE TV for this year. I'm really excited because we've got some delicious recipes that I know are going to be prepared. And I am going to jump right in and introduce our very first guest to you, who is Dani Liu, also known as Happi Dani. Happi Dani is the brainchild of Dani. She's a certified yoga instructor and tea sommelier, inspired by the principles of yoga and the rich natural bounty of her region. Dani created the Happi Tea Collection to promote self-love, harmony, and connection, both on and off the mat. Each loose leaf tea is locally blended using 100% organic ingredients with no added flavors or sweeteners, ensuring a pure tea experience. Hi, Dani. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. It's really nice to see you.
It's wonderful to see you too. Thank you for having me today.
Oh gosh, thank you for joining us. I'm really excited to see the recipes that you're making. I hear you're making not one, but two recipes for us today.
That's right. So I'm making two recipes. Both are very accessible and easy for someone who may not have all the ingredients in their fridge. So I will offer variations of it as well.
Perfect. Love it.
Anyone can recreate these.
Awesome. Okay, so which one are you starting with?
So I'm going to start first with my kindling apple iced tea.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's like iced apple cider almost.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
So this is using my kindling blend, which is a blend of black tea, roasted yerba mate, turmeric, cinnamon, cloves, ginger, apple, black peppercorns, but you could really use any chai blend for this.
Okay, great. Okay, super.
So what I did is I double steeped my kindling blend. So when I'm making iced tea, I use 2 teaspoons instead of 1 if you're making a cup.
Yep.
Then modify based on how much you're making.
Okay.
And
all right. So that you've pre-made and you've chilled in the refrigerator?
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
So now I don't have to worry when I pour it over ice that it's going to melt. Sometimes I will make ice cubes out of the tea, or you can use fruit, frozen apple slice, or anything like that would make work beautifully with this.
Great idea. Yeah.
But otherwise, when you're making your tea, set it aside to chill first. This has been in the fridge overnight.
Perfect. Okay.
So I am going to fill my cup with ice. And I'm going to fill this cup about 2/3 with the iced tea.
All right.
Oh, and I would like to add, while this was hot, I actually added maple syrup to it.
Okay.
Which pairs beautifully with a chai blend.
Yeah.
And is a nice way to sweeten it. So whilst it's hot, because it's easier to mix in versus cold.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Always sweeten with your sweetener choice when hot.
And maple syrup to taste.
Yeah.
And then I am going to top it with apple juice.
Okay.
And so super simple. Gonna mix it all together. So you have that my kindling blend or any other chai.
Yep.
Topped with apple juice and mix.
And you set to go. I love it.
Blend that transitions well to the fall winter as well. That you can enjoy hot.
Yeah.
So it's super tasty. It's like being in the orchard.
You know what? That's such a great tip because you can actually do it hot or cold, can't you?
Exactly.
So instead of chilling it, you can use obviously the hot, and then you can top it up with heated apple cider. Which I love using apple cider, and I think it's something that we tend to think of only sort of in the winter months, which is I don't quite get, but it's got just I find like a deeper, richer, crisper. That's the word I'm looking for. Flavor than just regular apple juice.
Yeah, so it pairs like that richer flavor works well with like the spices and the black.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Before you move on to the second one, sorry, I've got like a stray hair here. Before you move on to the second one, Dani, you said that there was yerba mate in that particular blend. Tell everybody what yerba mate is for those people watching.
So yerba mate. So that's from South America, Argentina. It's so it's high in caffeine. So it really gives you that nice energy burst. If you're looking, so this one here, you have the black tea as well as the yerba mate.
Great.
So if you're looking for an energizing blend, it's a great combination.
Nice.
Good.
Perfect. All right. So let's move on to your second.
So the second one is using my island blend. So this one here is a blend of milk oolong, coconut, and lemon peel.
Milk oolong.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
So nice and creamy, and then you have a hint of lemon peel in there as well.
Yep.
Which balances it out. And so if you don't have my island blend, you can use just a milk oolong on its own. You can also use green tea.
Okay.
Essentia, Tai Kuan Yin. So any lightly oxidized oolong as well.
Okay.
If it doesn't have any, if it doesn't have lemon or any fruits in there, you can also, when you steep it, you can also add sliced fruits to it as well.
Okay, great.
To give it a similar flavor profile.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so a lighter tea and then citrusy and fruity flavors with it.
Definitely. So I am going to fill my cup with ice. And so this one I actually cold brewed because I feel like it, with the delicate flavors, it lends well to a cold brew. So I used about 7 teaspoons. It was just under 2 liters. And that way you have like those subtle flavor profiles since this is such a delicate blend. So I chose cold brew versus just hot brewing it and then cooking it. So fill my cup with ice. And now with my island, I am going to fill it again about 2/3 with the island blend.
Okay.
So again, we have a super simple recipe here, so anyone can recreate it. And then I have my pineapple juice.
Okay.
And I'm going to top it with about 1/3 of the pineapple juice.
Okay. Okay. So that's where your Island Breeze name is coming from.
Exactly.
Perfect.
And I'm just going to top it with a bit of sparkling water just to, make it a little fancy. Why not?
Why not?
Makes it feel, you might as well make it feel extra special because
exactly.
It's a special experience. And then you can add a pineapple wedge if you like, or maybe a lemon peel. Anything. Perfect. Either of those would pair nicely.
Or a fancy little umbrella.
Yes, exactly. Or why not both?
Yes.
Yes. And so you have the Island Breeze, sparkling Island Breeze. And
sparkling Island Breeze, yeah. Nice. So
super refreshing.
So easy. So with your cold brew, I mentioned this with somebody who was on last week. I tend to like green teas cold brewed. I'm not a big fan of black teas cold brewed. I just don't think it translates well with black teas. But green teas it does nicely.
Yeah,
you agree?
That's why I decided to brew the kindling blend as a hot tea and then make it into an iced tea because I feel when it's cold brew, it's almost a bit flat.
Yes. Yeah.
And whereas because, also with the oolongs or the green teas, it avoids some of that bitterness that you may have as well, or over steeping as well.
Perfect.
So these are the 2 iced teas that I created for today.
Beautiful. I love it. So are you a big iced tea drinker, Dani?
I love iced tea.
Yeah.
I've been sipping iced tea every day. I have a pitcher to go in my fridge. I think it's so lovely to embrace the sunshine and a way to kind of feel a bit something, make your drink a bit special as well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
To it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I like to have a pitcher in my fridge as well over the summer. I don't know why it's just a summer thing because it's not like we don't drink cold beverages throughout the entire year, but for some reason, we tend to fixate temperatures to Do you know what I mean? Like to certain
most
times of the
definitely.
year.
Whereas in the warmer seasons, I feel like there's something special about having that cozy beverage in your hand.
That's true.
Yeah.
I guess, but there's nothing stopping us from having a pitcher of iced tea all year long and still doing hot as well. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like it's a nice variation if everyone drinks water.
Yes,
Something
exactly.
Delicious in the fridge that's also good for you.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, and that's it. And if you've got kids at home, you're controlling the sugar, you're controlling everything that's going into it. So you don't have colorings and additives and all the ick and yuck that you're going to find in a lot of.
And that's very important for me because I have a 4-year-old. So I've gotten him into tea young.
Yay.
And so, yay, my little tea drinker. And so he loves to have tea time. So I always have, some cold tea in the fridge with him, something natural. And usually he enjoys the fruity blends.
I love that. So you do tea time with him.
Yes, exactly. And so it's such a special little moment. But then I know he's drinking something that's good for him and also that he enjoys. So it's a way, a great alternative to juice for kids. You can sweeten it with a little bit of honey.
Yeah.
Or any other sort of natural sweetener.
Yeah. No. And you know what? The fact that you're making a tea time out of it, those are memories he's going to carry with him forever. I love that.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, lovely Dani. Really appreciate.
Lovely to see you.
You too. Thanks for the fabulous tips and great recipes. And enjoy the rest of your summer. We're finally getting some heat, which is really nice.
Yes, you too. And happy iced tea month.
Happy iced tea month to you. Take care. Cheers.
Bye,
Dani. Bye. Bye. All right. Some really, really great tips and some delicious recipes. I love it. So if you remember, we talked last week about mixing fruit juices in with your teas. And I think it's a really, really great way to add not only another layer of flavor into the tea that you're brewing, but also as a way to actually sweeten it, right? So personally, it completely depends on how sweet you like your beverage, but personally, I tend to not sweeten the tea at all, hot, cold, whatever. And when I mix the fruit juice in it, I find that the fruit juice is sweet enough. But if you want that extra little bit of sweetener, then absolutely do it while it's still hot with your sweetener of choice. And experiment a little bit. It doesn't always have to be just straight sugar. Personally, I'm not a fan of stevia, but if that's your jam, then go ahead and do that. But sugar alternatives, so sweetener alternatives, things like agave is fantastic. Maple syrup, close to my Canadian heart, as well as honey, really, really nice as well. And the other thing that I would actually experiment with, now that I'm saying it, there's a delicious hot honey on the market, which I personally have in my pantry because I love it on cheese, but that's a story for another day. But I think that would be really, really great in a chai. Something to try. Alrighty, so let me move on to my second guest, Will, who you know well. Will Dixon is a tea buyer at Taylor's of Harrogate, the home of Yorkshire tea. He's been with the company since 2012, where he started as a trainee tea buyer. Will has traveled to many countries to visit tea estates, including, but I don't think exclusive to, China, Ethiopia, India, Indonesia, Kenya, Malawi, Rwanda, Sri Lanka, Tanzania, and Uganda. Hello, how are you, Will?
Good afternoon, Shabnam. Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm really good. It's nice to see you.
You too. Welcome to Harrogate. We're in the middle of a heat wave, so good timing.
I heard that you were in the UK as well, and I think that you've had sort of the same kind of slow start to summer as we have. Like it's warm days and then cold days, and
yeah, it's been very dry, but yeah, it's been pretty good as far as summers go so far. So yeah, but we're hitting 30 degrees this weekend, which is, if anyone knows the north of England, 30 degrees is exceptional for the north of England. So, looking forward to that.
That is exceptional, and I hear we're hitting a low or mid 30s today here in Toronto as well, which is not unusual for Toronto, I have to say, in the winter. Sorry, in the summer, in the winter. Anyways, Will, enough of the weather.
Yeah, let's talk tea.
Let's talk tea. You're making two I'm going to let you say. I'm really excited about the second one because it's one of my favorite drinks.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're going to do the first one. The first one's rapidly melting, so we better do
let's go.
It's a caramelized biscuit. So we've got a new product. It might not be on the shelves yet, but it's on its way. So it's on the back of Biscuit Brew, which we've touched on previous shows. We've now got caramelized biscuit, so a slightly different flavor. So that's on its way to Canada as we speak, I believe.
Okay.
So we thought we'd showcase this one today. So we're making a Biscuit Brew slushy, essentially.
Okay.
So again, as we've talked before, we're going to keep it pretty simple. Again, like the previous one, we keep these simple, and hopefully that will encourage people to give them a go. And this one, very basic ingredients: your tea bag, whatever flavor that may be, boiling water, obviously, a bit of soda water, and then I'm afraid a little bit of sugar, but obviously your sweetener of choice, as you were just referring to. Yeah, we're just going to keep it a bit sweet because I need to make a syrup in this one. So I brewed up the tea bags for normal brewing times of 4 to 5 minutes, depending on preference. I've just used twice as many tea bags on this just to give it that extra little bit of strength to the flavor. Rather double the tea bags rather than brewing for twice as long, because you don't want to get those stewy notes in there.
Yep.
So again, as you were saying, while still hot, add a little bit of sugar. And we're doing that because, well, we're going to add a bit of sweetness because it's going to go in with ice or frozen. But also we're going to sort of boil it down. So once it's cooled, we're going to put it in a pan and simmer for about 15 minutes on a fairly high heat. So we're going to reduce it by about half to 2/3. So not quite a sugar syrup, but reduce quite a bit, just to intensify that flavor.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay.
So then once you've done that, let it cool. We've got it there, and we're going to basically add soda water at a ratio of about 4 to 1. So 1 part tea, 4 parts soda water.
Okay.
Fairly simple.
Very.
Give it a little stir, if I can find my spoon. So nothing complicated so far, just brewing tea as you normally would. We're then going to get a freezer bag, essentially.
Okay.
A resealable one, ideally. We're just going to pour the tea in there and then seal it up. Just bear with me while I do this with 2 hands. Make sure I'm putting it on the right way. So look, I've got quite a strong one here, which is quite handy. But when we're doing this, we just want to make sure we get as much air out as possible.
Yeah.
So then we're going to stick it in the freezer.
Okay.
And then for about 2 hours. But every half hour, we're going to go back to it and just give it a bit of a agitate. So that's why you need a fairly strong one. And that's why we're going to take the air out, because we don't want it popping tea/slush going everywhere.
It's going to be a bit of a mess. Yeah.
So after about 2 hours, we get something that looks a bit like this. So essentially our slushy. So again, we're not gone too complicated so far.
No.
We're just going to hopefully open this up. This is where it might get messy on TV. But yeah, open it up. So about 2 hours, give it that final agitation. Get our glass. Dip it into our glass.
I love it.
And then we've got our tea-flavoured slushy.
Oh my God, I love it.
Get our straw and taste. So obviously fairly straightforward, easy one to make again with the kids or children, but perfect on a 30-degree day like we're both expecting in the next few days.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to make some.
Pretty straightforward, that one.
I have to say, I've never done a slushy. That would even make like a great granite as like a dessert. Like, and I'm getting fancy now. Like at the end of a meal, right?
Yeah, or if you want to use a different tea, so we're going to talk about lemon and ginger in a minute. If you did with that, you could make your frozen margarita mix with it as well. So
now you're talking my language, Will.
So it's a fairly versatile, but again, pretty simple. I always panic because I don't know if you get these every day or every other episode, but yes, nice to see something.
I love that. I absolutely love it.
Obviously, you've got the flavors coming through, and you can make it as sweet or rely on the flavor as well from the tea as well. So perfect. Down to personal preference. Just a couple of hours, and it's ready to go.
Very, very nice. All righty.
So that was number one.
So that was number one. Your second is my drink of choice in the summer when it's just really hot and I need something really refreshing, and I want a drink. I want an adult drink.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a
All right.
take on that anyway. So
Yes.
I'll tell you where the idea came from. So as you mentioned before, I've been lucky to travel to some beautiful tea origins, and I was in Malawi one time.
Mhm.
And there's generally in all the tea origins or the old tea origins, so Malawi, the first place in Africa where tea was planted back in 1886, same year that Taylor's was formed, actually, coincidentally. I was at the Malanje Club, and it's in one of the bigger tea areas in Malawi. And I got served what was called a rock shandy. And I subsequently found out it wasn't actually a rock shandy, but it was a very nice drink. And that's the base for this drink we're going to do today.
Okay, great.
So as mentioned, we're going to use the Taylors of Harrogate lemon and ginger tea bags. So
Perfect.
we're going to brew those up. Again, similar to last time, we're just going to, again, teapot. I've just got it in a jug for demonstration. But
yeah,
normal brewing time, so again, 4 to 5 minutes. But again, double tea bags. So I put essentially 2 bags in.
Okay.
This would be about a cup size, about 400 ml, this jug here. So again, brew for the normal time just to get that little bit of strength. And depending on how sweet, sorry, did we say what the drink was? It was a lemon and ginger radler. I can't remember if we touched on that.
You said shandy, but we can use radler as well.
So again, depending on how sweet you like your shandy, radler, add a little bit of sugar at that stage.
Yeah.
Let it cool, stick it in the fridge.
Okay.
So then we're going to come on to the next part. So again, we're just going to use a little bit of soda water again. So we're going to go about 1 part to 1 part. So 50-50 in this jug, soda water and your lemon and ginger.
Okay.
And a bit of sugar. So you've got sweetness there, the lemon and ginger flavors, and also the carbonation from the soda water.
Okay, perfect.
Then, sorry, we're going to jump back a stage. So this morning I also made some, don't know if you can quite see there, ice cubes out of the lemon and ginger. So as always, if possible, use flavored tea ice cubes. Otherwise, they'll just end up diluting the drink. So some lemon and ginger tea bags there. Ice cubes.
Ice cubes. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we're going to add some lager. So in this case, it's alcohol free today because I'm driving home after this. But we're going to go about halfway up lager. Again, hopefully this doesn't fizz too much. And then the remaining half. So again, you can make this as strong as you want. You can make it more of a lager top if you want. And then your lemon and ginger / soda water mix. And then just, this is where so when I had it in Malawi, we had ginger beer, lager, and topped with some bitters as well. So I don't know, I'm not going to show the brand, but obviously this bitters hopefully available in Canada. You're familiar
Angostura,
with?
Yes, I will say it for you. It's Angostura.
Okay, thank you.
And yes, it's it's absolutely available here. Everybody should have that in their pantry.
Interesting story about the label and the bottle, if you've heard that story before.
No, I haven't. Tell me.
So they were redesigning the brand, or entering a competition to redesign the brand. And there was 2 brothers running the company. One of them ordered the bottles, one of them ordered the labels, and they got the measurements wrong. And they just ended up going with it, basically. So a nice little story about why the label sticks up above the bottle there.
That's such a good story.
Yeah, so we're just going to put some on top. Obviously, you get that nice colour and obviously the nice flavour from the bitters as well. And there we have it, the lemon and ginger radler.
Okay, so I have to say I've never had a radler with bitters on it.
Oh, it's nice. Yeah, very nice.
Okay, so I do have Angostura in my cupboard, so I will definitely have to try that.
Yeah, works well with the ginger.
Yes, no, absolutely, love it. And I mean, I guess really you could use. I understand you use the lemon ginger because shandy is usually a Sprite or a 7-Up, right? But I guess if you wanted to, you could use any flavored tea, couldn't you?
Absolutely, yeah. Whichever is your preference, try it out and go subtle, go strong. It's up to you. Yeah, any tea flavor that you like. Obviously, you can get flavor some lagers. You can get quite plain lagers. So it's up to you, whichever flavors you like. Add some in. Control the sweetness. Add the bitters.
And add the bitters, and you can actually see the bitters floating at the top of your glass.
Yeah, it makes it look very attractive. Sometimes you can see when I was looking into the rock shandies, or there's a Malawi shandy as well. Sometimes they'd have fresh orange at the bottom as well, so then you get the contrast of fresh orange, the lager shandy mix, and then the bitters on top. So yeah, a few alternates, but yeah, give it a go and experiment.
Okay, all right, very, very nice. I am going on holiday in 2 weeks, and we're going to be in a house, and I'm totally adding these to my list of ingredients to buy to make for my 2 weeks holiday. Because I do drink tea, just not, it doesn't have to be regular hot tea all the time. All right, I love it. Thank you so much, Will, for always bringing something interesting to the table. It was good seeing you.
Yeah, lovely to see you again, and we'll see you soon, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks.
Thank
You
you very
too.
much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Well, hello, Penelope, out in the Rockies. I couldn't agree with you more. I would have loved to have seen a beautiful tea service at the G7 conference. Maybe if we started all of the conferences, the G7 or any other political conference, with some tea, maybe more would get done. But that's a conversation also for another day. It really is. I agree. It's relaxing, it's restorative, and the perfect beverage to sort of set the mood and the tone for meetings like that. Okay, so moving on to my next guest is the wonderfully fabulous and beautiful Ms. Rona Tison. She is the tea ambassador / executive advisor at Ito in North America, which is Japan's #1 green tea brand and the world's leading purveyor of premium and sustainably grown green tea and healthy beverages. Ito has received numerous awards, to include recognition as one of 50 companies changing the world by Fortune for its commitment to sustainability and revitalization of tea farms. Hello, Ms. Rona.
Hello, Ms. Shabnam. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. How are you?
Lovely introduction. I'm doing very well. I don't know. I'm kind of waiting for summer.
Not there yet?
Not just quite yet, but I'm ready. You know, we're going to be ready with our little drink today. But and how
okay.
are you?
I'm good.
To be going on a little vacances.
Yes, we're driving out east. We're going to Nova Scotia for 2 weeks.
Oh, how wonderful. Well deserved. Well, good. Well, maybe you can take this recipe with you, and wherever you're going to be, maybe.
I know what you're making, and I totally am, because I'm inspired by this. I really, really am. Now, I know that you're going to make a matcha, but before you start,
yes,
let's talk about what's happening in the matcha world, shall we?
It's unbelievable. I mean, the demand, people have really, really discovered matcha. So it's very exciting. I'm thrilled to hear that people are really enjoying and incorporating into their daily lives. There is a word that there's a little shortage out there. But there's definitely gonna be matcha. So I'm hoping.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's what gets people. Do you know what I mean? People want things more.
100%.
Right.
And why not drink matcha? It is so diverse, and it's obviously got all the amazing health benefits. The vitamin C, the antioxidants, the L-theanine.
Yep.
It tastes delicious, and you incorporate it in so many. As is whisking it in your matcha bowl, or you can actually incorporate it into cooking, savory or sweet dishes. So it's very, very exciting. I have to say, being that we are green tea people,
I know,
we're seeing, kind of an amazing demand for our products.
No, it's fantastic. Honestly, it's impossible to open up social media and not see one of the TikTok girls and guys.
Right.
A day in my life or a morning in my life or whatever, and they've all switched to starting with a matcha, which is fantastic.
Yes. Which is why I thought this was perfect.
Yes.
And I like the fact that incorporating. Now, I love pink grapefruits. They're so refreshing. They're very high in vitamin C as well. So. And then with this rosemary infusion, it's going to be a lovely summer dish, beverage. So, but of course, Ito one, our go-to, the Oyocha.
Yep.
I don't know if you've seen the Shohei Ohtani bottles up in Canada yet, but
I haven't seen those. But as you know, I always have those in my fridge, so I love it. I love that it's unsweetened, clean taste, and just yum.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I must say, if you don't have time to whip up a quick iced tea and make a nice mocktail, which we're going to be doing today, there's always the Oyocha that you can just easily take with you. So that's good news.
Perfect.
So let me share. I in light of time, I went ahead and kind of prepared some things ahead of time. But, there's a simple syrup that I did prepare, and very simple. It's a cup of water,
Okay.
half a cup of sugar. I use the Turpendo. It's the least processed raw sugar instead of refined sugar. So I use that. And half a teaspoon of matcha. You can add more if you'd like. And then 2 sprigs of rosemary. So I actually put everything in this little sauce and let it boil.
Okay.
And what's great, so you have kind of a matcha rosemary simple syrup, which I went ahead and bottled, because you can put this in your refrigerator. It lasts up to, gosh, about a month. You can use this as for your mocktails, your cocktails, and of course, for this beverage we're going to do. So this is great. And these are my favorites. I love rosemary.
Yes.
I bake with it. And obviously matcha.
Yes.
And grapefruit. I mean, how summery is that? I actually, I have a juicer, and so I buy big bags of grapefruits. I do oranges, but to be honest with you, grapefruits are more my favorite. So very simple.
Yep.
You make your little simple syrup, and you can have this. So what you do for your slushy is you put half a cup of grapefruit juice, 2 cups of crushed ice, 4 cups of the simple syrup, the matcha rosemary simple syrup, and then rosemary sprigs. And so you put this in the blender, and it's right behind. I actually went ahead and prepared a ton. Here. This is my fresh squeeze grapefruit juice.
Grapefruit. Wow, look at you. Okay.
I have some already in my little blender back here, but I'm going to put some a little bit more.
Okay.
I mean, it's so easy. I'm doing this for you and me. 2 glasses here. So
we're going to have to do this in person someday, my friend.
Oh, I look forward to that. And you are the queen of all these fabulous mocktails and cocktails I know from years back.
Yes.
So we're putting that in the. I just put some ice. I'm putting some sprigs of rosemary. If you can see. Smell of rosemary.
I love rosemary.
I just have to tell you a really funny, quick story. I met this Italian chef a while back, and he actually has kind of a Michelin restaurant in New York, had one. And when I met him, he had like a sprig in his pocket, and I'm taking a couple of sprigs. So I thought, well, goodness, he'd just gone to some upstate farm, and maybe, he was just on the way back. To find out that was a signature of him. He would always.
It was his boutonniere.
Yeah, that was his thing, which I just thought it was
perfect.
But anyway, I'm going to put this in the blender a little bit. Simple.
Okay.
Well, plugging in would be nice, wouldn't it? Wait a minute. There we go. A little slushy. I mean, that's the sound of summer, right?
That is the sound of summer.
So here we go. So fresh. And I must tell you, and this is ironic because I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday in the internet, there was this big health benefits of rosemary. And there are many, many benefits of rosemary unbeknownst to me. I mean, I knew, all this, but actually studies suggest that it's good for cognitive health, memory, also boosting immune system.
Wow.
So quite interesting. If I Googled it a little bit more, because that was just kind of coincidence that I'll
have to look that up.
Matcha and grapefruit juice, any kind of citrus.
Yeah.
So here we go. Let me just. Gosh, it smells wonderful.
I can only imagine how good it smells.
So here we have our little glass with a sprig of rosemary, which I love. I mean, I love putting rosemary. I cook with it, also bake with it. And also it's pretty, even if your table decor. Yeah. And it really kind of smells lovely and fragrant. Yeah. So here we go is our slushy. You can hear a little ice, a little bubbles. Can you see that?
Yes.
Let me move it over here.
Yeah, move it. Yeah. Oh gosh, that looks really creamy.
Yeah, well, I think it's the bubbles of the.
Yeah, no, it's foamy is what I meant. Sorry.
Right. So the slush and toast to you. I mean,
toast to you. Delicious.
I will for you in me a little toast.
You drink it on my behalf. You drink it for both of us. I love that you've used an herb like rosemary, because we tend to gravitate towards mint. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But we forget about things like rosemary, sage, thyme. I mean,
100%.
thyme with anything lemony is absolutely delicious.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. And that's what sort of piqued my little interest. And again, you can change up the citrus if you want to do, tangerine or orange, lime. But the rose is what got me too. And I again, as I said, I do use a lot of rosemary.
Yeah.
And it smells wonderful. And as I said, this simple syrup, I think it'd be even nice as a gift to give during holidays.
Yeah.
Because, people are using all sorts of different simple syrups for their
100%.
cocktails, but the matcha and rosemary gives it a nice twist.
Yeah.
So
That's such a good tip. So, I mean, I've done that before, where I have like these, a couple of bottles of syrups that I just keep in my fridge. And as you say, once you've made it, it's super easy to use for a mocktail, a cocktail, even just a squirt in like the bottom of your glass over ice and throw on some club soda.
exactly.
That's it, right?
Even if you want to put a little yuzu, because I know it's pretty hot right now as well, so you can do that.
Yuzu.
But, the slush and how fun you can, I'm just doing it for two of us here, but a group, how fun to have slushes, right?
That's perfect.
And fabulous straws, or
Yep.
you can do fun little ice cubes with rosemary sprigs in the ice cube.
Inside. Look at you, all fancy.
Looking forward to a warm, hot summer so I can make plenty, or you all could be making plenty of these.
Well, I'll send some of the heat over your way, because as I was just saying to Will, we're getting a bit of a heat wave right now, which I shouldn't complain about, because I've constantly complaining that I'm shivering the last couple of months.
Goodness. Well, and that I always like to share that our Itoen tea bags that you can do cold brew.
Yes.
Hot brew, obviously, but the cold brew. And so in the summer, like, our Oyocha ones, if you're traveling and you can't take your blender with you, you can't get your grapefruit, these tea bag just to do cold brew is such a wonderful, refreshing.
Throw it into a bottle, water, and
Absolutely.
Bob's your uncle. Yeah.
So this is, to me, the go-to. You can even pre-do it in the refrigerator in a pitcher. So I always suggest this if you want to do it quick and fast and delicious, clean, refreshing. But it's fun to do with all sorts of great fruits and herbs, and absolutely matcha. And we have the matcha sticks that come in the.
Okay, so show everybody these, because I think these are the best things to travel with.
They are the best, and I'll tell you, I put them in my wallet, which sounds, the little sticks.
Yep.
And you can just use this for exactly this recipe. Simple. Put it in your bottle that you have right there.
Well, and the same thing, right? Just and just shake it up and off you go. Or you can pour hot water on it, and you've got
exactly. So these are so great to travel with, and when you're traveling, it's good to share with people too.
which you are very generous, and you kindly do. I know that you do.
Well, thank you, Ms. Shum. It's always a pleasure seeing you and talking tea. And I know you are the most creative tea sommelier and all that, but
I don't know about that. You guys always come up with some really interesting stuff, and I have to honestly tell you, I pick up a tip from every single person when they do these.
I love hearing everybody. It's sort of a community that loves sharing and sharing a cup of tea, whether in a group gathering or even in solitude. But yes, it is lovely. You do learn small little tips. And just this rosemary, I wasn't aware that it had that many sort of potential health benefits. So
listen, I mean, if it's delicious, that to me is the key. And if it's good for you, that's the icing on the cake. But the combination, I think, of the rosemary and the matcha is perfect, because matcha has an umami.
Yes.
So does the rosemary, right?
Yes.
So it's actually, even though it sounds odd at first, it actually isn't, if you actually think about it.
It works beautifully, and it's so fragrant. It really is lovely. And And then the fact that, you know, again, you can have your simple syrup and create new beverages, new cocktails if you want.
That's exactly it.
Cucumber.
Cucumber. That's a good one.
Cucumber. I know. I actually had a little drink that was when we were in London for the tea and coffee women's conference, and there was a drink where I was staying, and they had this beautiful cucumber kind of wrapped circular in the cup. It was just
nice.
Yeah. And so then of course a sprig of cucumber, but it was a mocktail, delicious. So yes, I think you can be inventive, creative with fruits and vegetables.
Yep. No, totally. Don't be afraid of them. So I'll give you a combination that I've made, which is absolutely delicious. And that's cucumber, so a juiced cucumber with jasmine tea.
Oh my God, that sounds wonderful.
A little bit of citrus, yuzu would be perfect. And it's such a nice combo.
That sounds incredibly refreshing. My goodness, I'm going to have to try that because we've got the jasmine.
Yes, you do.
Joan has jasmine. So I'm going to go try that later.
Give that one a go. Do a splash of Prosecco in it and finish off your
day. Goodness. Well, lovely, lovely. Well, I'm sorry I couldn't get this through the internet to you.
I know.
For you.
I know.
But, my gosh. Cheers to you. And
cheers to you, Miss Rona.
And, happy iced tea month.
Thank you. Happy iced tea month to you, Rona. Enjoy. I hope when you get some heat.
Oh, yes, I do hope. Look forward to that.
All right.
Thank you, Mishama. Thank you.
Bye. Arigato. Bye. Bye. Oh, delish. All right. So again, really don't think always about the things that we traditionally think of. I mean, you can, of course, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that, you know, once you're sort of comfortable in that world, then like sky's the limit. Think of vegetables, as Rona said, or a cucumber, or think of even tomato juice would be fabulous. Lapsang souchong with tomato juice, a splash of Tabasco, a little bit of bitter into it, maybe a splash of vodka, and you have a delicious cocktail. Or some of the herbs, as we were talking about, that we tend to forget about, right? We always think about mint, which is the traditional way to go, but there are other herbs that do really, really well in these combinations. Rosemary, as Rona has done. I mentioned thyme does really work well with citrus, and sage, I think is really a nice flavor to sort of add to a tea blend as well. So with that, let me move on to our last guest, and not the least, but certainly the last guest that we've got on ICE TV for this season, and she is Amanda Stella Harrison, who is one of our certified top tea sommeliers. She's a passionate beekeeper who focuses on the spiritual side of tea and bees. She views tea as a beautiful elixir that can not only offer up amazing health benefits, but can teach you to sit and be present for a moment, to heal and transform yourself in a profound way. She owns Wicked Botanicals, which is a manifestation and intention-inspired loose leaf tea company, which also offers honey and tea leaf readings. Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Hello, I'm well. How are you?
I'm really good. It's nice to see you.
Good to see you too. I'm excited today.
I'm excited as well. You've got some of the heat where you are too?
Just a wee bit. Just a
Good.
wee bit. Not too hot. It's comfortable still.
Okay.
I'm cozy.
Good. All right. Well, that's the way to be. So, Amanda, you are making two deliciousness with us, one to chew and one to drink. So tell us which one you want to start with.
So I wanted to experiment with something that I do every single day. So I wanted to make protein balls.
Okay.
And they're perfect for the summer. They're grab and go. They're great
Yes.
for kids. So in the morning, I will make these up and give them to the kids and run out the door. So
Perfect.
we're going to make lavender Earl Grey protein balls today.
Oh, nice.
So that's what we're doing to start off with. What the recipe calls for is a cup of oats. So a cup of oats, flaxseed, chocolate chips, and some ground tea, butter, and of course some honey.
Of course, some honey.
Honey in it. So the first thing is the cup of oats. So I get the cup of oats in. It's a quarter cup of flaxseed. So a quarter cup of flaxseed.
Yep.
quarter cup of, you can choose chocolate chips of your choosing. I like the dark chocolate, so I'll put dark chocolate in there. And then what I do is I have a quarter cup of the lavender Earl Grey tea.
Okay.
And take a magic bullet and I grind it up a wee bit so it's a bit more fine.
Okay.
Easier to stir. It makes the mixture a little bit more balanced.
Okay.
So just put a quarter cup in this wee little contraption and then I blend it up.
Okay. So you're putting the leaves in as if it were a spice.
It honestly doesn't need a lot, so just give a couple of shots. Okay, and then it's a nice fine ground. And I just put that in there too. And then I basically mix up those dry ingredients really quickly. And then depending on how I'm feeling, sometimes I do the peanut butter first, sometimes I do the honey first, whatever, as long as it goes in. So we'll get the peanut butter in first. Now what I do is it's a half a cup of peanut butter, but I keep a little bit more on hand just in case I need it to stick a little bit more.
Right.
So sometimes I suggest a heaping cup.
Okay. For those of you watching and have had energy balls, honestly, they are the easiest things to make. So, and you can, I know Amanda is using a recipe, but once you've made a recipe, you'll get a feel for what the ratios and what it's supposed to feel like. And you can honestly put in whatever you want, right?
Yeah, these are those types of things you can be creative with.
Yeah.
You have a base recipe, but essentially, like you said, you can do whatever it is that you want.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can switch different ingredients up. Let's say instead of lavender,
exactly,
I could have a chai. And then I do little chai balls in the morning with a little bit of spice when I need some.
Yeah.
So I just go ahead and I basically mix everything together.
Right.
You do it, just the hands-on way. You can put it in a mixer, whatever makes your life easy.
All right.
Okay. So I just kind of bring everything together. Okay. And so essentially, once everything gets mixed, this recipe itself should make approximately 15 balls.
Mm-hmm.
I have about 4 or 5 every morning. They're kind of my breakfast.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I basically eat them like breakfast. I just kind of get 4.
Yeah.
So this lasts me a few days.
Yeah. Well, they keep really well in the fridge, don't they?
And they freeze nicely.
Oh, okay. I've never frozen them before.
They freeze nicely too. So you could essentially make a larger batch and then freeze them in the freezer.
Nice.
So
good tip.
Once this is nicely mixed, okay, then basically you just get a little dollop and you roll them into balls.
And zimzalabim, you've got an energy ball.
And then, you've got an energy ball. Oh, you put a little extra energy into it too.
I see what you did there.
Right. So because I haven't fully mixed them, they're a little bit wet.
Yeah, no, I get
it. They mix really, really nicely. You're able to just kind of put them in a little container to chill, and then you can put them in the fridge. They can go in overnight. You can cook them, and that's it. And
fantastic.
So fun, you have these wonderful little protein balls.
Yeah, they're such a good thing to have on hand.
Yeah. The cool thing is that the lavender Earl Grey, after they've sat for about a day, it almost gives this Fruit Loop flavor.
Oh,
so it's like a Fruit Loops. Yeah.
All right. I am intrigued.
So these are lavender Earl Grey protein balls.
Perfect. Nice.
There we are. So super easy.
Yeah.
You can choose to double the batch if you want to, or keep it, classic at 16.
Yep.
Oftentimes we do multiple batches and we'll freeze them because they are a classic in the house. It's not just for me, it's also for the kids too.
You do share, do you?
Yeah, so we have to share.
Good.
Right? If you don't share, they're at your feet asking for it anyway. So you just make sure everybody has some to go around.
Perfect.
So that's our lavender Earl Grey protein balls. And now I will do a bit of a drink mix.
Okay, go for it.
So today we're doing a peachy jasmine green refresher is what we named our iced tea today. So essentially it is a jasmine green tea base.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically just get 2 pot spoons, so 2 heaping tablespoons essentially of jasmine tea.
So you're making a nice strong brew.
Yes. I do brew it nice and hot.
Okay.
And then I will let this sit for 2 to 3 minutes.
All right.
I want it to get bitter, so I don't leave it too long. And while that is brewing, I make fancy ice. So this is what I do in the process of the tea brewing. Is I open up the can of peaches.
Oh.
Yeah. This is where I get to be creative and do something a little fun.
Yes, indeed.
The reindeer out of cream. Now we're doing something a little bit creative in a different way, but with ice.
Perfect.
Still freezer, but. So what I will do is I will just take out a couple of peaches. I obviously keep my can because I will use that later for the iced tea brew.
Okay.
I just cut up these little bits. I just make sure that they are small enough in size that they will fit in an ice cube tray. So I basically put these little peach slices.
Okay, so you have a drink and a snack.
Yeah. Now I can choose to fill this with water if I want to.
Yep.
I can choose to do it with tea.
Yep.
Or I can just use a little bit of the extra peach juice.
Nice.
Yep. So while that jasmine is brewing, I make sure I have I just call it fancy ice. And I pop this in the freezer.
Yep.
So once I pop that in the freezer, then I come and get my my jasmine tea.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, it should be done brewing, and it's not too bitter. And what I do at this point is I actually add in peppermint tea.
Oh.
Add in a bag of peppermint tea at this point in time, and I only steep it for a minute. I don't want it to be overpowering.
Okay.
Strong. I just want that mojito bit of a refresher.
Okay.
So for a minute, and while that is doing its thing, then I will put in my honey.
Of course.
This is optional, right? If you don't want it sweet, you don't have to add the honey. I like it sweet.
You like the honey.
I like honey, period.
Yes, it's not the sweet. You like the honey.
And that's true. You're right. I don't want the cane sugar. I don't want the, I don't want the white sugar. I just want the honey. So at this point, while that peppermint is brewing in there, it's just the perfect flow in time to add the honey right now.
Nice. Okay.
And then I just kind of make sure it's all mixed together. We let that do its minute thing.
Mm-hmm. So it just gets like a little kiss of mint.
Yeah, a kiss of mint. I like that.
Kiss of mint.
A little kiss of mint. A little bit of a refresher.
Yes.
So I'll take that baby out. Okay. And obviously still hot. I'll put it in the fridge so that it chills.
Yep.
And then I'll show you what she looks like when she's...
All right.
So at this point, when I bring the jasmine tea out of the fridge chilled, this is when I will put in the rest of the peach can.
The rest of the can goes in.
Or half of the can. I'll put half of the can. It's also optional, right? But
Okay.
if something that is a little bit more fruity, then I put the rest of the can and some along in with it.
Okay.
So we'll get this. I'll be able to fill up with my iced tea. Right?
Delicious.
the jasmine green tea with the peach and a little bit of the mint. And then I do the fancy ice. So this one I do little cactus shapes.
Oh, that's cute.
So I'm able to pull out
That's really cute.
that we
Fun.
freeze overnight. Oh, look at these little cactus.
Oh, they're adorable. And you've got the peach pieces in them, right?
Yes, that's what that color
Nice.
there is, those peaches. And so I can put my ice in, and then if I want to, I obviously can add those extra peaches.
It must be a lot of fun being a kid in your house.
It's fun being in touch with your inner child in my house.
I can see that. No, I can totally see that. I can definitely see that.
So now we have our little snacky room. So
Your
we have,
snack, it's perfect.
and then our lavender Earl Grey protein balls. So we're bringing in the florals, right?
Yeah,
And the jasmine.
totally. I love that. And so many delicious flavors that you've put in there and things that, I mean, you know, grab a can of fruit. Why not? Right? It's there. Go ahead.
With pears as well.
Yes,
have to be
pears would be great. Lychee would be delicious. Now I'm thinking, okay, all right, I'm inspired.
It doesn't even have to be one color when you're dealing with the.
No,
You could have a little fruit salad. Maybe
that's
some cherries. Make it pop.
cherries, totally. Some delicious, delicious flavors. And like I said, the energy balls are so easy to make, guys. Make your own. You don't need to buy them.
Yeah. Experiment.
Experiment. That's what it's all about. Why, thank you, Amanda, for some really yummy recipes and some really good ideas. Love it.
You're so very welcome. I'm always happy to share.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, Amanda. Enjoy the summer and enjoy your treats.
Will do. Ciao.
All right. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Okay. So I'm going to share with you one of my favorite recipes, and that's a cheeky sunset. As you can see, Ms. Rona and I are on the same wavelength with the grapefruit juice. I think it's really a good thing. It's a nice thing to, think of citruses outside of the ones that we traditionally go to. And orange juice is absolutely wonderful. Nothing wrong with it. Lemonade is one of my go-to favorites, but grapefruit juice just adds another layer of interesting flavors, a bit of bitterness to it. So, my lovelies, thank you so much for joining us this season for ICE TV. I hope you've picked up some really great tips. I know that one of my absolute favorites that I think is an important one to remember is a very practical one, and that is to, when you're icing your tea, when you're chilling your tea, allow it to come to room temperature before you put it in the fridge so that you can prevent it from clouding so much. I think that's a really, really good tip. Other tips from today is, as we've said, use herbs other than the ones that we're traditionally thinking of. Canned fruit, I think, is a really great idea. I know I've got canned lychee at home because I've made some lychee martinis. So those would be great with some iced teas as well. Make ice cubes. Another really simple and convenient tip, right? Things that you don't have to think a lot about. Things that you can pre-make, I think is a really, really good idea, right? So having a pitcher in your fridge, if you are entertaining, you can set up a mocktail station or a cocktail station with a pre-made pitcher and then just make whatever variation that you want. Simple syrup jars that we saw today is a really, really great tip as well to have on hand. And also, when you make yourself a pot of tea, and you don't finish the whole thing, I don't know who you are, but in case you don't, then instead of dumping it down the sink, pour it into your ice tray and pop it into the freezer and use it for the next time you're going to make yourself an iced tea or a mocktail or a cocktail. So with that, I say enjoy the summer. Please follow us on all of our social channels, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We always have some good tips and tricks and recipes. Our YouTube channel has all of this year's episodes as well as previous years. So take a look at them. The recipes are all underneath each episode. And I say a sincere thank you all for joining us, and a sincere thank you to our fabulous guests who give not only generously of their time, but also share some really great tips with us. Have a great summer, everybody. Take care. And I'll see you same place for Entertaining with Tea in a couple of months. Bye-bye.